Welcome back to Detox. I'm Dr. Caitlin, and today's video is the bonus video that I promised you guys from the 7-part series, the specific 7 lymph node. Now, if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, if you're like bonus video, you gotta go watch the other 7 videos, because I literally took you step by step through each of the 7 lymph nodes in order to properly open up and support your lymphatic drainage system. Now, with that being said, there is a very specific order when doing lymphatic drainage. Order, pressure, direction, very, very important. So if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, go watch the video that I did on order, pressure, and direction. It'll explain everything. I find that most people, when they're doing lymphatic drainage and when they're first implementing it, they're missing one of those things. It's either order, pressure, or direction. So this bonus video is going to be all about combining it and really putting together the whole order piece. So without further ado, we're going to talk about it step by step. What do you do? And then how do you finish it up? And then what does drainage look like for me, and what does it look like for somebody who's just starting? So make sure you stay till the end. All right, when we're first starting lymphatic drainage, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're doing lymph node massage. I don't care if you're doing manual lymphatic massage, meaning using your hands for massaging the vessels, if you're using a gua sha tool, if you're using a dry brush, if you're using a vibration plate, if you're using a rebounder. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what you're doing. You're always gonna start by opening up your termini. Remember, our termini are located right above our collarbones, and this is where all of our lymphatic fluid drains. All of it. Everything from our toes to our brain to our head to our fingers to our breast tissue to our gut. It all drains up at our termini. So if we are congested here, the rest of our body is not going to drain. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to open up your termini. Very first thing you do. We have to create that pressure gradient. Remember, right above our termini is the lowest pressure for lymphatic fluid in our whole body. The further we move away from our termini, the higher the pressure gets. And fluid moves from high pressure to low pressure. So we have to make sure that we're constantly keeping that pressure gradient in check, in line. All I'm saying is we got to make sure that this area remains low pressure. So how do we keep our termini, or above our collarbones, low pressure? Well, we got to clear it. So you're going to clear it the way that I taught you in video number 1 of the lymph node series, because that's really like the easiest way to do it. And then as you go through, so as you clear this area, and you might be like, well, how do I know it's congested? Or how do I know it needs to be cleared? Or how do I know there's stagnation? Well, an easy way to look at it is, do you have swelling and puffiness above your collarbones? And if you do, you got some congestion. You got some clearing to go. So right now with me, you can see I actually have a little bit of puffiness above my right side, which doesn't surprise me because I actually have some congestion going on in my sinuses. Right now, the pollen's a-blooming. It's going crazy. So I'm not at all surprised, because the right side is going to drain my right side. So I would absolutely focus and open up my termini here. And then I would go and do my tonsillar node, right? Because that's the next one. Well, guess what? After I clear this and then I open this up, and it doesn't matter which node, I'm just using this one right now because it's easy for you to see. So if I go and open my tonsillar node, what happens is that fluid starts to drain, right? But what happens if that fluid is has been sitting there for a while because of the congestion here? Meaning, if we've been congested, we're at the drain and the fluid is sitting there for a longer period of time, that fluid's not going to be nice and fluid-like. It's going to become more viscous. It's going to become thicker. Think of like molasses versus water. Well, as you get the lymphatic fluid moving from another part of your body, let's say it's from my head right now, with draining, what's going to happen is that fluid, I'm going to influence it to move down, but if it's thicker, it's going to likely congest that area. Same thing with if we're doing our arm, if we have more fluid congestion in our arm, or if we have more fluid congestion in our abdomen or in our legs. Regardless, I always encourage you, always encourage you, once you go through your routine, whether it's all 7, and I'm going to highly encourage you to do all 7 at the bare minimum, even if you have problematic areas, focused areas. Like for me, it's going to be my head in the next little bit. I'm going to be focusing on my head, but I'm not going to not do the other lymph nodes. I'm still going to do the other 5 lymph nodes, but I'm going to spend more time focusing on the problematic area. So I might do 50 up in my head and neck, and then I might only do 20 everywhere else. The best part is you guys get to play with it. You get to do what works for you. But after you're done the whole thing, I'm going to encourage you to finish things up, to wrap things up. You go back and re-clear, pump, decongest your termini again. Because if the fluid, like I said, is more viscous, it's thicker, it's moving better now, but the viscosity hasn't changed just from you moving it. You want to make sure that you're still creating that pressure gradient so that fluid can continue to drain and flow. So that's why I always start and finish with decongesting or clearing my termini. I always have my clients do the same thing too, because I find that people get better results. So always start and always finish with the termini. And then how many you do in between is completely up to you. So the lymph nodes, I always do lymph node stimulation every single day. Every single day, because lymph nodes, remember, they act like doors. They're either closed or they're open. If they're open, that means lymphatic fluid can flow through. But if they're closed, it means that nothing can flow through. So even if I'm doing something like dry brushing, or if I'm doing something like rebounding or vibration plate or gua sha or whatever, and I'm trying to influence the fluid in the vessels, if those doors are shut, I'm not going to get very good results. It's not going to be as good as it would be if I took the couple minutes just to open up the lymph nodes. So I always open up lymph nodes. And then I'll play around personally with the type of lymphatic drainage that I do for my vessels, whether it be, like I said, vibration or rebounding or dry brushing or gua sha or manual, just using my hands, or straight on movement. The best part is you get to do the same. But I am going to encourage you every single day to do the specific 7, because the more you do it, the more consistent you are, the better the results you're going to get. And the more that you keep things moving, the less likely it is to become more viscous and harder to drain. So to recap, always start and finish with the termini. Always address the lymph nodes. You're going to get better results with your lymphatic drainage routine. And make sure you come back, because I'm always going to share more and different information about how to support your different drainage organs and systems. Lymphatic is one, liver is another, gut is another, and then we have kidney, skin, lungs, and even uterus. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Happy draining!